your source for business, economy, and development insight to drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, SOUQ News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. SOUQ News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, SOUQ News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. SOUQ News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions. The Three Wise Men. Iconic sculptures and statues adorn major metropolitan cities of the world. In Lagos, Nigeria, the statue of three men designed to depict the state's cultural heritage and to usher in visitors and tourists into the ever-accommodating center of excellence is no doubt an astounding work of art. Originally built under the administration of Colonel Raji Rasaki, designed by Bodu Shodende in 1991 and standing over 12 feet high, referred to as Agba. In the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress, welcome to SOUQ News, your source for business, economy, and development insight to drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, SOUQ News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. SOUQ News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, SOUQ News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. SOUQ News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions. Idumota Market. Eko Idumota, once a residential neighborhood, is home to Idumota Market located on Lagos Island. It is one of the oldest and arguably one of the largest markets in West Africa. Idumota is a historic neighborhood adjacent to the Lagos port that facilitated the slave trade, and later under the British indirect rule, it surrounded to exports that fueled the colonial enterprise. Idumota was also the location of an armed forces remembrance cenotaph called Soja Idumota, built as a monument to Nigerian soldiers who served with the West African Frontier Force. An Eyo masquerade statue and a clock tower are also some monuments at Idumota. Idumota Market is so popular that large sales are recorded as early as 7 a.m. The market is made up of hundreds of locked-up shops occupying several multi-story buildings, with some measuring about 5 or more floors. In 2010, the Lagos State government demolished some illegal structures in order to improve vehicular and human movement in and around the markets. During weekdays, the neighborhood of Idumota is densely populated by shoppers, traders, and bus passengers. From the Carter Bridge ascending into Lagos Island, passengers can see the neighborhood before disembarking at their final destination. Idumota Market accommodates the substantial inflow of imported goods. The bulk of import from abroad are routed first through Idumota and then on to other markets through Nigeria and other West and Central African countries. The energy of private Idumota traders and wholesalers facilitate this activity, where millions of US dollars worth of wholesale is exchanged daily. Idumota Market, SOUQ Enlightenment.
Apologies for those overriding technical issues, but hey, we're back and we're still live. It's SOUQ Pulse live on SOUQ News. We tell you, no matter what's happening, get talking. Never be silent. When those policies are not favorable on those loans that were taken, never be silent. When your country is not following through to make sure that whatever money is being given to them by any organization in whatever form, in whatever name, is stringing them along, and profit is not being made on those infrastructure that's supposed to be built on that money which the next generation will pay, don't be silent. SOUQ News, SOUQ Pulse, we are here for positive programming. My name is Chuks, John Rogers Chuks. We are not going to lose any further minutes. We are diving straight into what we are talking for today. We've been looking at productivity for a very long time on SOUQ Pulse, and we are asking ourselves today if we need to be productive, aside individuals shunning laziness and bringing out that creative intent and talent within them, getting to work, stopping praying and depending on miracles, but hey, working and open up your hands so that the miracles will happen by the works of your hands. We are asking direct questions. Now, Africa for a very long time has been a dumping ground, in quote, direct dumping ground, not just for products, but for fake and substandard product for a very long time. Be it drugs, be it fashion, be it fabrics from fashion, be it machine tools, be it motor spare parts, be it food items. These are dumped regularly on Africa. And on the average, from the medical product side, Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, not even the entire Africa, is losing well over 500,000 people every year. Losing as in death. This product kills 500,000 people every year. Now, we're not talking about the impact on the economy or the impact on manufacturing sectors of these economies. Now, we're asking ourselves, who is responsible? We taking it, those selling it, those importing it, or those shipping it, or the government not doing much, or who exactly is responsible? We see a lot of this coming in from France, from Belgium, from India, and from also neighboring African neighbor countries, China not also out of the mix. These are the 4 major countries that account for this amount of product coming this way that are fake. Other countries account for it, but these are the major ones. To join and talk about this today is our own in-house analyst, a learned person, Dr. Idahosa. Sir, good afternoon and welcome to SOUQ Pulse.
You know, when you use the word learned, you have to be...
I have to be specific.
Yeah,
yes, now, he's not...
I am not a learned gentleman. There are only one profession that is learned in Nigeria.
That call themselves learned gentlemen. Like others did not go to school or others did not get the same certificate,
at least.
Which at the end of the day doesn't put food on the table. But now let's... let's now face this fact. So most times, always our first question is always coming from the topic.
Yeah.
Fake and substandard products in Africa. Who is responsible?
Well, it's a whole potpourri of interests that we really cannot put one hand to say that one person is responsible for some of all these issues that we face. But what one can say for certainty is that the issue of fake and substandard products in Africa, basically, is a function of the low-value systems within the African states.
Low-value
systems, yeah, within the African state. Why do I put it at the door of value? Yeah, of course, you could have an importer who goes to other countries to go bring in products that are substandard. But you have institutions within the state that should verify how safe these products are, who should be there to check whether these products had passed quality tests, and then somehow these things slip their hands and get into society. So this is the challenge here, to say, okay, this is one person responsible, because now it has become a network of evil. That's how I want to put it, between law enforcers, regulatory authorities, and this is the thing we face here.
Where we found ourselves.
So the regulator, who are supposed to say, oh, this is the standard that is good for human.
Is it good for human or good for our people?
Good for our people. Yeah, but at least we are humans, at least in the first place. You see, there is a whole lot of argument around the issue of fake and substandard products. Some people feel, oh, because a lot of people are looking for survivor, and therefore because they don't have a job or they don't have a work, so they are finding means to survive.
Means to survive. Okay.
And therefore they feel that they have to take the life of another person.
Can I progress this argument with some statistics? Now, the biggest killer in Africa is not hunger, is not war, is not HIV/AIDS, is not COVID. The biggest killer in Africa is malaria. Malaria that, yes, you heard me very well. Malaria that if we decide to go by what our tradition is and what your grandfathers or great-grandfathers passed across to you, the cure of malaria is right behind you. But we depend on imported or drugs coming from a pharmaceutical shop. Now, that's not an issue. But now, drugs, substandard and fake malaria drugs alone is killing 275,000 people. Not the malaria. Malaria is taking its own in millions. Now, substandard and fake malaria drugs alone, sir, that number is fiery. It's staggering. Yeah. 275,000 every year.
Yeah, but you see, I always also postulate, to some extent, conspiracy theories, some of all these things. You know, at a certain point in time, some people were actually thinking that there was a way to reduce the population of Africa. Some say, oh, there's a need to wipe Africa out completely. And therefore, the only way to do it, if you remember, the Adam Smith economists on population control. If there's no natural cause, then of course you have to induce some way to scale down population so that, of course, those who are there can come to take some of all these things in. Now, that's one argument that is, because really, if, for example, somebody is taking a product from the Western Europe or taking from China, the authorities in China also must be sure that what is actually leaving their own territory is also standard, to some extent. But if these things, at least, let people say our people have no value, but you also see that from the other end,
where it's coming from.
Where it's coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, the authority also certifying and allowing this thing to come toward Africa.
Okay.
Is also paying a blind eye to some of all these issues. So for me, that's the conspiracy side of it that I wanted to point. That yes, of course, people argue the poverty side of it.
Okay.
That African, maybe the people who are doing this themselves, they are looking for how to get wealth, or that the buying population in Africa also have not enough money to actually buy what is quality and standard.
Okay,
and therefore,
you're looking at the buying population.
Yes, the buying population.
Okay. Not the selling population.
No, the buying population. That they don't have enough money to actually buy a standard thing, and therefore we have to at least give them something. And this is really very scary. Because you see, even in Nigeria today, you find in a pharmacy the same paracetamol. You see some for 200 naira, the same paracetamol, same dosage, and you see some for 1,000 naira.
Yes, there is paracetamol for everybody.
Yeah, but the paracetamol is supposed to be for everybody. Now you see
different brand names.
Yes, not really brand names, so to speak. You see different brand name here, different brand name. But you see, they tell you that this brand name is locally here, and this other one is imported. So what you are producing for your environment and what you are also distributing is a terrible thing. I remember one of a family friend who went to the hospital in South Africa once, and when he came back and we're having this conversation, and he said to me, he said, look, the truth of the matter is that there are a whole lot of things killing people here, that even up to the, what they call it, the plaster, the plaster, the drip, that's used in South Africa, and what we have here, that's a far cry from each other.
Okay. Now, let's also, we kind of started with medical products. Now, a lot of the medical products that are fake and substandard are a product of trafficking from these major countries. And now, the issue with the trafficking is that they also come from legal supply chains. So now we start asking the question, who along these supply chains is aiding and abetting this sort of thing? In a space of less than 4 years, over 605 tons of medical products were seized and confiscated in a space of less than 5 years.
Yeah.
So we're now looking at ourselves. If 5% of 605 tons get into circulation, we are looking at mass murder. No, we're looking at genocide.
Yeah. Yeah, but you see, this is where we also see that what is confiscated, if we are to be very honest with ourselves, is a little fraction
from what is circulating,
of what has circulated. Because in most of the cases, and where we see here in our environment, is that the one who refused to settle are the one that actually seem to be confiscated.
Are you talking from authority? Are you talking from a place of authority, or you've been there before, or? Yes, like exactly.
Yeah, when you mean authority, what I'm saying in essence is there are things that are well known fact that are there in the public space. If you know your way, you pass through it. If you don't know your way, we see this thing happen. And we see these things on the road on a daily basis. When you see all the checkpoints of all the various regulatory agencies moving from Badagry right down to Maitu here, you see a chain of people. And then you can't be in the vehicle and don't see what is happening. Some people are flashed down and they are allowed to pass. Some people flash down because they know what to do. Some people have seen somebody who move ahead of them and is dropping something at every stop. Oh, this happened.
Okay, before we authenticate this that is happening, let's also rely some other statistics. Now, let's take Nigeria as a point of example. Now, the Nigerian economy is losing 15 trillion to fake and substandard goods annually. Annually, let me specify, like every single year. And this is one of the highest recorded in every of the world markets, which means those producing it, wherever they are producing these things from, they produce with West Africa in mind and Nigeria in mind. Then now we start asking this question. We have Standard Organization of Nigeria for every other, everything, be it electrical, be it cap, everything. Then for the drug and food part, we have NAFDAC. Where should they really come to play? Or where have they not been playing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the issue of fake, well, of course, these things are smuggled. But in the issue of standard, every nation sets its own standard. So even in terms of production of vehicle, you have UK specific, you have Middle East specific, you have Asia specific, you have American market specific, then you have African specific.
We don't have African specific.
Oh,
every
there is. So goods that are meant to come to Africa, they have their own specifications also.
So what can you define that specification?
This is what, of course, we're talking about, the substandard products.
Oh.
It's a substandard product. That's what is for our market.
That was below the belt.
Yes, and that is because the African market is seen not to be profitable. And because the African market is not profitable, the buying power of people, you know, yeah, we say, oh, Africa has a population of over 1.3 billion people. Now, how many of these 1.3 billion people can live on $1 per day?
How many of these 1.3 billion people
that can live on $1 per day? Okay,
now before we start doing that math or that calculation, remember when it comes to telecommunication, we have a high percentage use of those particular phones that are not being made here, more than where it's being made. So how do you compare that? Same thing when it comes to the drugs. And remember, for us here in Africa, we pay cash, unlike there that pay with insurance, or pay with one form of insurance or the other. Here they dump and we pay cash.
But that is the...
So it's profitable for them here.
No. You see, we take statistics haphazardly without looking at it. Even the phone market we're talking about. You can take, for example, high-end phone, Samsung phone in Nigeria, or iPhone.
Are we looking at a case of numbers or a case of quantity?
No. Both numbers are quantity. Now, if you take, for example, you can hazard a guess of the number of Samsung phone that you have in this country or the number of iPhone that you have in this country, and then you can just oppose that with what you find in other countries.
For Samsung phones, Korea, some other Chinese phones, we use a whole lot of them here.
Yes.
Because we don't even manufacture.
That's what I'm saying. Now, the high-end phones,
we use less of iPhones.
Less than 0.5% of Nigeria use the high-end phone.
What about the other phones?
Yeah, but these are the substandard phone. These are the substandard product. That's what we're talking about. You see, the issue is that if you, for example, like me, I'm using a particular brand of products.
So a phone of 80,000 naira, if I convert to Nigerian money, is substandard phone.
So that phone that you're looking at 80,000, at the current rate and value today, is about $50.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, how do you compare that with a phone that is $1,000?
What does the phone call God? Okay, let's pay. let's stay on this. Let's stay on this particular topic.
The phone may not be calling God, but the material that are used in making the phone is different from the material that is used in making your 80,000 phone. This is the issue. Okay. So you see this from time to time. Now, if you take, for example, an iPhone that has about 256 gig RAM, it will sell 10 times a Techno phone that has a 520 RAM.
People, it depends on how many people in my village need an iPhone. What are they using it for?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying.
Those that need iPhone should go and get their iPhone. The majority of the population that need the Techno, you are going to pay us at the end of this show, will go and get their Techno.
Yeah.
Now, let's come back to the substandard product and the fake product. Let's now look at the impact on the economy. Now, we get to see this dumping. When this dumping is done, directly affects the local production of any form of related product to those particular ones. Let me, for example, brake parts. We have a large amount of fake brake parts coming into Africa. So any of those companies, be them the ones here in Lagos or the ones in Nnewi, how can they compete when the fake is flooding the market? And because it's fake and substandard, they are cheaper.
Yeah, but again, it's also to look at it from another perspective, really. You also see, because in recent reading that was done in the market, that you are seeing, for example, people who are in Idumota here, or Nicha market, or Aba market, who are faking.
No, we are coming to that.
Yeah, but no,
let's talk about the ones that are coming from outside.
Because we may not even be able to say that all these things that are calling fake are actually coming from the outside. Yeah, for substandard, yes, I agree. But for fake, most of the fake things
we are coming to that. They have a full section on this show today.
Okay.
So let's don't preempt them.
All right.
Because if you preempt them, we'll let them off the hook.
Yeah.
You will take it very likely. So let's talk about the substandard that is coming from outside.
Yeah, it's the substandard that we're talking about, because Nigeria take a mold to China.
Okay.
And of course, here you are talking business terms. The Chinese in the factory tells you, this material is available, this material is available, this material is available. Now, if you need this high-end material, this is the cost per unit. If you need this one, this is the cost per unit. If you need this one, this is the cost per unit. And then you say, oh, if I buy this one that is a high end with this amount cost per unit, if I bring it to the market, I am also factoring in the number of people who will be able to access or use this kind of a product before making that business decision. So what use will it be for me that if I'm going to bring a product into the market and I'm not going to have patronage, cash is tied down. So you see the Nigerian businessman opt for the lesser quality because they feel that's what people can pay for. So you get to the market and you get that lesser quality, and then that's what you're selling. So the substandard is a business decision by our businessmen.
100%.
100%, yes.
Some of them.
100%.
All of them.
All of them. All the substandard cases are 100% because
so
this...
we are 100% responsible for our issues.
Off all the shelf products that we go to the market to go and buy.
Like they're not specific brands where the brands bring them to Africa.
Yeah, but because we are very, very conscious of pricing. I give you one very small example. If you go to my 12 here, my 12 here, where people are buying tomatoes.
When he's talking about my 12, he's talking about Lagos, Nigeria.
Yes. You see some people who leave their house to go and buy rotten tomato.
You never can tell. Maybe they want to ferment it.
So whether you are fermenting it or not, because you see, a basket of rotten tomato is cheap. So if they are selling the one that are fresh and good for 12,000, then you have to opt for the one that is rotten. And of course, this one that is rotten, don't forget that they are going to use it to cook for the public.
Okay. Now you almost got me there. Now the person buying that rotten tomato is buying it also for the same purpose of the fresh tomato.
Oh yes, same purpose. Because he makes more money from the rotten tomatoes than from the fresh tomatoes. So they use it to cook and you eat it and you are having diarrhea because somebody wants to make extra money and he is feeling that, oh, if I buy this thing and then I am serving you some food and say, oh, you say the quantum here is bigger than the one that is served here. But you are not looking at the input that is coming into it. And this is also where, for example, even the buying decisions of the buying public is also very important. Somehow, recently, we were having this conversation around procurement. And one of the issues that came up was the fact that, you know, before now, we're talking about best possible price. And they were sharing with us that in Morocco, they have gone beyond that best possible price. That what they have discovered is that when you want to procure something, that the Moroccan government has determined the rate at which every item should sell based on the inputs that is coming into that item.
Okay.
For almost all items. So we are saying
based
that
on production cost.
On production. So they can estimate what the production cost is, and therefore, if you are going to quote for either a government or any private business quoting in this area or doing procurement and you are bidding in this area, any bid that is lesser than what government is already a suspect and it will not be considered at all.
Okay.
So some of us who went there were arguing and said, oh, what if I have it as old stock? And said, no. We have had those cases. But all that you find out is that by the time people use those arguments that, oh, it was an old stock, or I have some material, they come in and bring in the substandard, and then you cannot monitor the standard.
Okay.
So they have set their own standard that whatever that is you are going to buy or sell within that space, they have set out what the minimum pricing standard is.
Should be. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we have asked this same question, who is responsible for this flooding of fake and substandard products? In the last few minutes, Doctor has been able to postulate that both the buying public and the selling public, and to some extent the importing public because the selling public have also, in some cases, is also the imported public. Now, let's look at brands. Certain brands, car brand, spare parts, we also have that issue here. And these brands sell their own particular spare parts. And we still get to see substandard products coming from these places. These are not Africans. These are not Nigerians. How do we deal with that?
Yeah, but it's also to also look at what people have done. There's a market in the UAE, for example, where alternate brands are sold.
Okay, alternate brands
yes.
To the big brands.
Oh, yes. You have Polo. Polo brand is in the market. But somewhere in the outskirts, you see Polo that unbranded.
Okay, unbranded.
Unbranded. Okay. Same quality.
Okay.
You can hardly differentiate. You find them in wristwatch. You find them in all manners of things. Somehow, they are not allowed to intermix with the regular market because the system is able to check. So there are places you can go to get those kind of products, and they are then the market. But for the open market where everybody buy, somehow you get to the UAE and they want to sell some sanities for you. They take you to one small room upstairs
where you go and get the unbranded.
Yes, unbranded. Yeah.
Whereas if you go to the small room upstairs in some places in Africa, you get Lopo. not just Polo. Okay. We are going on a break. When we get back, we'll get to talk about the Free African Continental Free Trade Area. We'll also get to talk about issues that have been put in place to checkmate counterfeit and fake products for that particular thing. Then we'll also talk about the production of this particular product, whatever it is, within African borders. Don't go anywhere. SOUQ Pulse will be right back.
Idumota Market. Eko Idumota, Once a residential neighborhood, is home to Idumota Market located on Lagos Island. It is one of the oldest and arguably one of the largest markets in West Africa. Idumota is a historic neighborhood adjacent to the Lagos port that facilitated the slave trade, and later, under the British indirect rule, it surrounded to exports that fueled the colonial enterprise. Idumota was also the location of an armed forces remembrance cenotaph called Soja Idumota, built as a monument to Nigerian soldiers who served with the West African Frontier Force. An Eyo masquerade statue and a clock tower are also some monuments at Idumota. Idumota Market is so popular that large sales are recorded as early as 7 a.m. The market is made up of hundreds of locked-up shops occupying several multi-story buildings, with some measuring about 5 or more floors. In 2010, the Lagos State government demolished some illegal structures in order to improve vehicular and human movement in and around the markets. During weekdays, the neighborhood of Idumota is densely populated by shoppers, traders, and bus passengers. From the Carter Bridge ascending into Lagos Island, passengers can see the neighborhood before disembarking at their final destination. Idumota Market accommodates the substantial inflow of imported goods. The bulk of import from abroad are routed first through Idumota and then on to other markets through Nigeria and other West and Central African countries. The energy of private Idumota traders and wholesalers facilitate this activity, where millions of US dollars worth of wholesale is exchanged daily. Idumota Market, SOUQ Enlightenment.
Yes, welcome back to SOUQ Pulse. We are looking at fake and substandard product, and we are asking who exactly is responsible. From our first half of the show, we have seen that both we are responsible. We are buying, we are responsible. We are selling, we are importing. Then to some extent, those that are also bringing and trafficking, a lot of times these are criminal organizations. Now, it's estimated that that particular set of ring, fake and substandard product, is worth about 250 billion. That is what they make annually. So now, let's now bring this particular gist home. For products that are everyday products, fast-moving consumer goods, that you see all around every city, every state, every home in Africa, we have had issues where we have seen a sharp rise in fake of this product, not just counterfeit, fake of this product. And each industry, or each, would I call them industry? Each person, each individual, each firm that's getting this product out there are among the community. A typical example was that you were given the market around some places in Nigeria, and some of these products go beyond the borders of the countries, like from Ghana to Nigeria, from Nigeria to Benin, from Benin to Lome to Co, just that way. Now, this is now where law enforcement should come in. At what point should we, the citizens, first now start holding police or NAFDAC or any other enforcement responsible? At what point should we start holding ourselves responsible? Because every of this industry is at the back of your house. You know, but you know who's doing it. Like
it is always said, not Nigeria alone, across the world, humans have the instinct to do what is wrong. Every human. You know, like in the law of photosynthesis, plant grows towards where light is. The natural instinct of man is always to grow to things that are bad.
Like, seriously?
Oh, yes. So,
how come I didn't know this?
You have known today. So the natural instinct is to grow to what is bad. But you see, You need to put systems in place to make this happen. Take, for example, if you go to the UAE today, you want to register a business. Every business is attached to an address. And the address is verifiable. It's a shop number. That's where that business is going to operate. And if the authority comes into that place and that business is not there, you will be declared wanted. So it is easy that when you are licensed to do a business in those climes, you can only do the business for which you are licensed. I went to Paris and we were to buy some souvenirs. We went to a certain district to go buy souvenirs. We got into that place and they told us that, look, there's no retail here. This is wholesale. And they turned down the euro. You can't do that in Nigeria. You are the manufacturer representative, you are the wholesaler, you are the retailer. So this is a problem, and this clumsiness, a certain system in place, is actually what is giving these opportunities for these things to happen. So when all business names are registered, government knows where and what you should be doing. And then you are not doing beyond that. If you are taking a media license in the UAE, for example, you can only take one at a time that you are paid for. So if it's photography you are taking, it's photography. And that photography, if it's indoor, it's not outdoor. If you want to do outdoor, you go and take a license for outdoor.
Well regulated.
Well regulated.
Okay. Now, for these people making these fake products, they are not registered.
They are not registered.
So now, how can we go beyond registration and find them?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. So if all businesses is mandatory for you, you can't sell anything without registration. You have to be registered. A lot of people have fake business name. They have no CAC registration. So some people register business name. They are not doing any business. The name is in the CAC as a business entity. So this is where, for me, the cleaning up of the system is the starting point for overcoming this challenge of fake and substandard drug. So when we know what everybody is doing and we know what kind of license you hold, so that even the law enforcement can come into your shop and they're able to look at what you're doing. They can review your invoice and see what you're selling. These are done at random. Now, once 2 people or 3 persons are caught in the market, everybody sit tight and understand that, look, these people they mean business. And that is also that, of course, the monitor himself had to be monitored.
Okay. The monitor himself has to be monitored. Okay, now let's go straight to the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Now we are looking forward to this not just being a reality, but a reality that's going to happen as planned. We have 55 countries all signed to this. We have borders that we are looking at allegedly being open specifically for business and trade. Human beings crossing also being checked so that we don't have criminals and terrorists crossing people's borders for free. Now, we are also looking at how can we stop fake products within the countries coming to the market. Now, there is already the rule of origin whereby only products within the country can be sold. You can't go and import or transport products from outside Africa and come and use them as what you're selling within those particular places. But now, how can we start looking for means of making sure that we don't have fake products coming to Ghana market from Nigeria, or fake products coming to Cameroon, from Niger. These are things that people are a bit scared of. So how can we start holding each of us responsible that that can happen?
You see, again, that's where values also come into play, where we have a very weak value system as a people. Some time ago, when the rice was banned from coming, people were actually taking foreign rice and rebagging them into Nigerian made. Print names of local rice and pour foreign rice into it just to legitimize it. So that's from the heart. So you have to check the heart. And sometimes when I sit down as somebody who loves history, some certain things play out to me. And the way, for example, when we had the trade contact with the colonial masters, you see that they come to take our palm oil. We will put oil and put, because they were weighing it to buy. We put sand on the bottom.
Were you there?
Oh, yes, I was there.
When they were trading with the colonial masters?
Not with colonial masters, at least I saw some of those trades when after, of course, we had independence. So what I'm saying is that...
Which part of the country was...
Oh, in the 1990s, you can see in Lagos here, even people where they were using cup to measure rice in Lagos. They will melt wax in the cup.
Okay. Now,
some people will have to press the under.
Let's leave criminals alone.
No, but
there are criminals in the system. There are criminals in the market.
You see, if
we concentrate on criminals, we won't move forward.
No.
Let's look at this continental free trade.
Whether I will like it or not, the people who are responsible for this over 500,000 deaths are criminals.
Yes, and we must stop them.
Yes, that is what I'm saying to you.
Or find ways of stopping them.
This is what I'm saying to you. That you see, you go to the market, you want to buy 10 cups of rice, and somebody who is doing like this for you, doing like this and turning the cup upside down, ends up giving you 5 cups in place of 10.
Is it somebody or a criminal? Just say what you say. A criminal that you met in the market decides to steal from you.
Yeah, it's this same criminal, if you call them, that are responsible for bringing in. Because it's not every businessman who goes out there to want to sell fake products. Not everybody is selling fake. But there are certain people who have this inclination
to rot evil,
to make money so quickly.
So how can we stop those people?
That is what I'm saying. It's cleaning up the system. That if we have to actually deal with these people, we need a strong regulatory framework. That regulators should be strong enough. You know, I was listening to, what is his name again? This guy that was arrested in the Capitol Hill incident of December 6th, speaking to Tucker, and was saying that in America you have 3 entities. 3 entities that are supposedly really controlling and dictating what happens in the American system. And he classified them. A very strong bureaucracy. We are supposed to be the regulator. And he identified the politicians who are themselves crook. And then, of course, he identified the banking institutions that also support some of all these things. So you see, the role of bureaucracy in Africa, we have to redefine it. How we get people into public office.
Offices that are supposed to checkmate.
Yes. You see, because if people bribe their way into offices, then it's left to be desired that such people will go into those places and do clean work.
Okay. Now let's come back to the product themselves. If I decide to make, let's say I make car tires, that's another product that will have a whole lot of fake of it in Africa. Yes. If I decide to make car tires in Nigeria, or the rubber trees are gradually coming back. Yeah. So if I decide to make car tires in Nigeria and decide to send it to Ghana, there is this particular style, this particular technique that's been adopted with pharmaceuticals of late. It's been there before, but it's very popular right now, where they barcode drugs or put a sticker on drugs where you can either scan with your phone to authenticate that where it's coming from and its originality. That is working right now. Now, is it possible that zones can say, okay, tag every product so we can identify where it's coming from? Is it possible where we told that line?
Choose.
Present.
You see, even at the heart of COVID, that people were supposed to have been registered with barcode for vaccine.
Human beings.
Human beings with certificate that you have been vaccinated. Millions of people in this country had barcode without vaccine.
Now, it depends. What sort of vaccine do you think? They must have had a native vaccine and you are not aware.
No, but what I'm saying is that, yes, they have a native vaccine, but they have card, federal government card, with barcode.
That they've been vaccinated?
Yes, that were programmed into the system. And these people never had any vaccine.
Okay, so you're trying to explain to us that the heart of man is wicked.
Yes, so what I'm saying in essence is that even the barcoding of the product can be faked.
Okay, good. In all this, there has to be a solution. There has to be a way where business must thrive, with or without fake and substandard product. There just have to be a way.
Yeah, but you see, this is where, for me, the campaign for the Federal Ministry of Information, State Ministry of Information, National Organization Agencies will really need to start an enlightenment campaign so that, first and foremost, let's even isolate the value of a man. What is the cost of a man? Now, if you were to use scriptures, the value of a man far outweigh everything in creation. Now, when we start to put value in humankind, you see a lot of change will happen. And I think in Rwanda, Paul Kagame has succeeded in doing this to reorientate the children and the public in Rwanda. Children, especially, the focus was on children. Now, you look at it, in the last 20 years, all those people that emphasis were placed on, they've all become adults now.
And now
they know what the values are.
Value of life.
For life.
Okay.
And I think this is where we need to start. Because until people realize what is the implication of the things that we are doing, then we will be able to hold, children will be able to hold parents accountable. I was speaking to a group of some public officers, and I asked them the other day, and I said, do you think that your children don't know how much you earn? That what you earn cannot guarantee the lifestyle you are living?
Okay. On this note, we are going to call it quit on this show. Dr. Idahosa has gone a whole lot of philosophical today, and he refused to just lay it down the way it is. This is what is called, if you know how to eat, eat well and don't bite your fingers. Put a value on human life. That is the major essence, because if you do, you will know that those particular products, be them the ones that you are selling, or your cousin, brother, sister, auntie's son is selling, making, or importing, is affecting someone's life, not just negatively. Some people are losing it.
It's not just someone. You see, because if you kill a man You put the wife in trouble. You put the children in trouble. All the dependents on him, they are in trouble. You have disrupted the system.
Okay. We want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, for coming in today. To everyone out there, remember, see something. Say something. It's SOUQ Pulse. We'll do this again tomorrow. Bye.